Good morning. It's Scott Cullen, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report, Friday morning. That means it's time for Fridays with Frank, and Frank is joined today by a special guest. Well, first, Frank, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. What an exciting day. Just got off that call with Larry White at Toshiba. Exciting stuff. We'll talk about that later. But we got a very special guest today that we're equally excited about having, because it fits so much what CJ and I have been pushing for these last few months, talking to various groups about diversification. And it was at one of those dealer group meetings, ICDA, where Jim George, a president of DME in Cincinnati, piped up, well, we're doing our presentation. Well, how about the electric vehicle charging stations? And of course, CJ and I say, great, we're familiar with it. And he went into the sales pitch that actually ACDI should have hired him. This guy sold that thing. You had to hear the questions coming from the dealers. It's really that good? He said, absolutely. And he went on and on, but I'm going to introduce our guest who's going to share more about electric vehicle charging stations. We have Mark Hart from ACDI. And, Mark, CJ and I were both so gratified when we heard Jim George speak up the way he did, because we felt from the beginning, we didn't know how it would work out from a numbers perspective, technology perspective, but we knew it was something different that people had to look at and then make a decision for himself. It works for us, it doesn't work for us.
That's correct.
But we were so happy to hear Jim say what he said, and share with us what's up, what's current now with the electric vehicle charging stations.
Well, Frank, let me clarify that statement Jim made did cost me a lot. I'm still sending him bourbon for that. So it definitely didn't go by for free, but we do appreciate everything he said for us. And what's interesting about the comment and the energy, I think, from what you got to see firsthand is, for a long time now, diversity has been top of mind in this channel. But I think it's almost like out of necessity. Like, you have to diversify, you have to do this, right? And early on with EV, it was kind of leading into that. Oh, well, let's talk about this. This might help us because of pages we're losing or because of print decline. But over the last, let's say, 18 months, it's kind of pivoting. It's more of not out of looking at EV chargers, not out of necessity for diversity, but out of excitement for something that's new in the industry that their teams can get behind, that is a model that really fits into the current dealer model today, with hardware, with recurring revenue, with software, with annual maintenance and support. So that energy that you saw from Jim, for example, is what we're hearing when we're actually talking with dealers. It's like they're excited. They're looking at new models that they can seed the market themselves and gain revenue from putting EVs out in the space. We had a dealer call us this week. They're not interested in selling yet, but they're electrifying their fleet of service vehicles. And they wanted to see about purchasing the EV chargers to put on their lot for all of their service vehicles themselves. Mm-hmm. So I think that's been the exciting thing of what's going on, and some of the changes really that we're seeing currently with the dealers today is just that mentality shift of, it's not a necessity to add this on to theirs. It's something that they're desiring to do.
That's kind of interesting, because what you brought up is so many dealers have fleets, particularly the larger ones, who are in a great position to take advantage of that, and then to think in terms of switching their fleet over to electric vehicles, which has got to be a huge saver in terms of gasoline. Interesting, very interesting.
It is. And right now there's so many federal rebates back for that, right? For the EV cars and things for businesses. And so it does make sense. A lot of people are considering that for their service technicians that are running around, and making them electrifying fleets is really exciting.
I'm so glad. Obviously, we think an awful lot of ACDI, and you and Josh are just good people to work with, and we've always enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on and telling the rest of your story, Mark.